Today is another edition of Free Agent. Welcome to the show. I am Meg Schmitz. I am a free agent and entrepreneur, angel investor, franchise investor, and consultant. And I have had the pleasure a few years ago of working with my guest today, Kristin Carlson. Kristin migrated from the corporate world into business ownership, and she is a focal point business coach. Welcome to the show, Kristin.
Thank you, Meg. It's great to be here.
And it's great to see you again. I think that rather than me trying to explain who you are and what you have accomplished, why don't you talk about yourself and where you came from, what you're doing now, and what inspired you to take the leap into business ownership?
Okay, thank you. Well, I have a 30-year IT career in the corporate world and 20 years leading managers and technical teams. And I started my career at Cargill, one of the largest privately owned, it is the largest privately owned company, and was at Fortune 100 and 500 companies such as Salomon Brothers, Wells Fargo, and Kohl's. And I loved leading teams. I loved leading the technical teams, helping them find their strengths and pulling those strengths out really to build a high-performing team. But in 2018, my position was eliminated at Kohl's, and I searched for other senior leader IT positions in the corporate world and had met with one of my former colleagues at Kohl's who had started a new gig with Focal Point, so I learned a little bit about that. Sounded great, but I still needed to find a job, so the outplacement service that I was working with had a free workshop for franchise ownership. And I decided to attend because it was free. I had no intention of buying business. And this is where we met.
Yeah.
And I think that discussion we had just really intrigued me and said, you know, maybe I need to take a look at this because I really wasn't passionate about finding another job in the corporate world. So that's really what I enjoyed about the process and working with you is really, you know, discovering, you know, what should I do? What could I do? Looked at several franchises. I decided then to look at Focal Point again and said, this one really speaks to me and to my passion. And so I decided to join Focal Point.
Yes, I remember working with you and Dave and meeting at some of the quarterly events and having those longer discussions about should you or shouldn't you and could you get into business ownership based on some of the things that were going on at the time. And 2018 was really a good employment year, but it was interesting as you and I were working together. I could tell that the passion wasn't there to go back. The passion was there to go forward. Exactly.
And I think truly never thought of owning my own business, but I think what you had taught with how franchises have a system already built for you, right, and a process already built for you, I think it took some of that fear away and that risk of just being on your own and trying to put that all together.
Yeah, the risk part of it, I think, is more there today. As a business owner, 2020, with what's been going on in just the world at large, are there positive outcomes that you are now realizing this year that maybe you didn't have in 2019?
Well, I think just starting your own business and networking, learning what networking really means and really enjoying it, right? So at first it was so scary, and now I love it, and I love that it's part of my day. And I've met so many fabulous people and so many great business owners, and many of the people that are in your ongoing group are kind of my role models because I've seen their businesses, you know, start from nothing and they're exploding. And, you know, this year has really been a growing year for my business, and I think COVID has given the silver lining is business owners, you know, before COVID where everything's going great, I don't need help, and now all of a sudden maybe I do need help, maybe I should take a look. And so it's been a really good growing year for me too.
It seems like, from what I hear from our First Friday group owners, the independent people are having a harder time pivoting and transitioning with all the changes that are going on, a harder time than franchise owners are. I think that's where you, as an independent consultant, but part of a franchise group that has so much intelligence to offer to business owners, I would think now is, just to your point, a great time for an independent business owner to seek out someone like you for help in staying afloat and staying positive and engaging. Do you do a lot of advisory work, say on how to pivot into Zoom and how to increase your professional image there?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone has taken that pivot into Zoom and learning how to leverage it, right? So even with one of or several of the networking groups have gone there, but how can we leverage it and thrive with it, right? It doesn't look like it's going to go away anytime soon. So definitely helping business owners, providing resources, answering questions. I think this is a great time to think differently about your business, or just have somebody ask some out of the box questions about the business and what it could become, and get them to really think about that vision and the future of where their business could be.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things about your personality that I enjoy, is that you have this calm demeanor, but you have an intense curiosity and desire to help people do better. Is there one particular tool that you've adopted this year that is enabling you to enjoy your work more, or monetize it differently than you have in the past?
I think, one of the things we teach is really goal setting and how important that is. And actually putting it to paper is even more important. Keeping it in front of you and rewriting it daily or weekly basis to really keep those goals. And I think personally, my husband and I, we're struggling with my job change and trying to start a business. And finally we sat down and said, okay, what is our 5-year vision? Where do we want to go? And all of a sudden it was just this huge transformation of making it happen. And it's like happening faster than we ever imagined. And I think
Nice.
that's that thing that we get to help clients with, is really, what is that vision? How can we bring it to life, and how can we help you get there faster? So that's one of the ways that we get started. And then what are those goals to reach that vision, and how can we really make those happen and achieve those faster than they could on their own?
Who do you turn to for inspiration and focusing your time and your efforts?
So there are so many people, and I think Focal Point has so many sessions each week on ways that we can gain education and learn from each other and reach out. Also, I do have a coach myself, so
nice.
That is one of the other benefits of Focal Point. So I work with a coach on my business, and that's been a huge help and huge focus on mindset and building a business.
Are there certain types of clients that you seek out in particular, whom you particularly enjoy working with or helping?
I'm really looking for those business owners that believe in professional development and really want excellence in their business and want to build something bigger than themselves so they can give back to the community. So I'm really looking for somebody that's really focused on building that business that's really going to support our community. And I'm also looking for like an athletic mindset, right? So an athlete, even though they might be the superstar, they don't stop practicing, right? They continue to work on their game and practice. And that's
a
really
great
the
analogy.
type of business owner that I need, is somebody that says, okay, things are great, but I want to be even better. How can I be better? Get more involved in the community and give back.
Those people are so much fun, and it kind of highlights then why it's harder to work with people who don't have that same kind of discipline.
Right.
It's like they're asking for the Coast Guard helicopter to fly in and drop the rope down, but they're not tugging back. But you get those athletic mindset people. I think I know what you mean. It's like they never stop. They always are looking for the edge.
Right. Always looking on how we can be better, right? And there are tons of books and resources that we can leverage. We have a great executive coaching program that we've just kicked off this year that's really focused on that corporate executive, really looking to get into the C-suite or that CEO role, and really help them grow as a leader. But there is work involved. Right, so they have to want to put in that effort.
It does not happen overnight.
Right.
The overnight success stories that took 20 years.
Exactly.
and really then creating the opportunity. It's not luck, right?
Correct.
It's effort and being in the right place at the right time and seizing that opportunity when it shows up.
And being open to opportunities, right? I think that's what networking is. You never know where that relationship could lead you, right? So
what I've always admired about Focal Point is that there's always been the one-on-one in-person meetings, but they've always had a virtual capability so that you could work with anybody, anywhere in the world. Are there new programs or technologies that the company is working on that will maybe embrace technology differently going into 2021?
We already have. I mean, I'm pretty much all virtual with my clients, and they might be here. They might be somewhere else in Wisconsin, and I do also career coaching, which I'm working with people around the world. So it really hasn't stopped us at all. And there are group coaching classes that I hold that are virtual. So it hasn't stopped us, I guess, and really leveraging using Zoom or other tools that can really bring us face to face just like this.
So where are some of your further and farther between clients? What countries are they in, or what states are they in?
So Dubai.
Really?
Poland and Germany. So, it's really been quite interesting meeting these people and helping them with their career search.
How do they find you? Or did you find them?
They go through a company called the Baird Group. So it's an outplacement service out of Rhode Island. And they had brought in Focal Point coaches to help with part of their program. So they're signing up for a bigger engagement, and we're helping with a 3 or 4 session program with them.
Are there any interesting cultural variations dealing with individuals who are in different countries versus the United States?
I haven't had too many challenges. I mean, luckily they all speak English. And unfortunately I don't have no other languages. But, just, I think, the time zone piece and trying to, fit into their schedule is probably the biggest challenge, but really similar situations, right? And similarly trying to find something, what is their next step for their career?
Interesting. It's got to be fascinating I know how much I enjoy talking to people from other countries and the tidbits that you can pick up, just the different points of view between men and women or different ages, but really then to learn more about their culture and work ethic, engagement. For example, one of the individuals that you worked with, Veer, as I've gotten to know him, he was telling me, having come to the United States only, I think, 4 or 5 years ago, that when he was in Mumbai, like Italians, they speak with their hands and they speak very quickly. And he asked me sort of in a trusted, hushed tone on a recent phone call, he said, "Meg, I just need to ask you something that's kind of sensitive. Can you understand me when I speak despite my accent, do I talk too slowly or too quickly? And I said to him that I understood him perfectly. He enunciates quite well. And he told me how hard it was for him to make the cultural adaptation from the in-the-face communication style that happens in Mumbai in business versus the United States and the very large, very well-known company that he works with now, and trying to fit into the culture here in the United States.
Very interesting.
It was very interesting. And the other piece of note is these are people who have learned more than one language, and you and I are the same. I don't know another language. I've taken different languages, but I can't speak another one. So already their brains are, I think, wired differently for change because they've had to. It's really interesting.
And they've probably gone through more change in their careers than we did in ours, right?
Yeah,
and
I
they're
think
looking for bigger.
That opens up being bilingual or multilingual. They have a whole different set of career opportunities because of that. So with your with Focal Point, which is, I think, very much a lifestyle business, you can be on or off, you can work any hours that you want. What particular freedoms have you enjoyed since becoming self-employed?
Well, the flexibility is amazing. Coming from an IT background where you work 24/7, 365, I can't tell you how many holidays, weekends, after hours that I worked, and do have some regrets for my family with what I sacrificed in that IT career. So now I'm really making sure that I have work-life balance and really trying to be present when I'm with the family and then present when I'm with my clients. So I think just being able to have ownership of your schedule and really protecting it so you can spend that time. I do have 2 grandchildren now, so love to see them, and I think just trying to give back to my kids who, I was always on the phone when they were little, and I couldn't even take them to the doctor's office without being interrupted. So I'm enjoying that part.
Yeah, I think the Focal Point model too, having no employees, no direct reports, it's all you all the time, but gives you that opportunity to say, okay, I'm going to block off from 3 to 5 o'clock on my Calendly link. No one will know where I am. It just says that I'm not available, and you could be at a t-ball game, or you could be babysitting your grandkids, or it's a lovely lifestyle business.
Yeah. And I think coming from that IT world, it doesn't bother me to work on Saturdays or Sundays. I have that flexibility, right? And I can put the time in when I really need to, but then take the time when I really want to.
Yeah, the work-life balance is really tremendous.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about Focal Point?
I think it's the best community of coaches. I think the culture that we have, and you can reach out to anyone in the whole organization and they will drop everything and help you. I think everyone wants everyone else to succeed. So it's not all about one person, but we're trying to help everyone. And it's amazing coming from the corporate world that there's a lot of people that want you to succeed, right? And just not something that was normal in the corporate world.
It's so true. It's so true. It's such a watch your back kind of an environment in the corporate world. And here you do have all of that flexibility. Another thing I guess I hear from people who are considering hanging up their own shingle, saying, well, coaches they seem to be a dime a dozen. They're everywhere. So what separates you from an independent life or business coach?
So our program that we use was really built by Brian Tracy, who has a 40-year career training people around the world in leadership and sales. And he packaged that into the program that we deliver. So we really have a system that we're using that has been proven with thousands of companies building success. And, you know, our clients that are willing to put in some time, some work, really see a huge benefit, you know, 7 to 10 times their investment in coaching. So I think that's what differentiates us. And our program is, you know, we are focused on growth and sales, but we want to build that foundation so the business can survive and thrive once it grows, and really help that business owner to work themselves out of the day-to-day, right? So they can work on the strategy, they can get some time back in their life, and that their business is still going to run, so they can take a vacation, right? And that's really our goal. They really deserve more success, and we're helping them build that business that can run on its own.
Such a critical point for people getting into business. I think the first 6 months or so, the natural human inclination is to throw themselves 100% into it, learn everything about it. And then there's no one there really to pull them back out of it and say, okay, now you've learned enough. You need to work on the business, not in the business all the time. You need to learn how to delegate.
Right.
And so I bet some of those people with whom you are working are people who are so entrenched in their business. It's been a long time since they've extricated themselves and been able to breathe.
Right. Or find the ways of what you can delegate, what can you afford to get help with, right? So it can free up your time. So you are putting more of your time into the strategy bucket versus the technician bucket.
Yeah, because if they don't do that, who breathes life back into a depleted, pandemic-riddled business owner? There's got to be more engagement, I would think, with you in order to reclaim some of that energy that is lost or has been expended in areas where it's really not benefiting themselves or the business so much. They're maybe just that on that gerbil wheel and don't even realize how they need to get out of their own way.
Right. Especially if they plan to sell the business. And that's really where, you know, we should talk. Where's the end in mind? You know, if you want to sell that business in 3 to 5 years, we do have to work you out of the business. So you get the highest value possible for your business, and you don't have to just close the doors, right? So how can you make it valuable for somebody to purchase? And
that's huge for a business owner to enter every year thinking about their exit and what am I going to do this year that will enhance my exit strategy when I'm ready.
Exactly.
Nice.
So we work on that succession planning and building your team and building a culture that people really want to stay with you, right? So how do you build that culture that it has value to someone else to purchase?
Good point. Very necessary. All right. So, Kristin, if someone listening to this podcast wanted to get in touch with you, how should they find you?
Sure. So my email address is kcarlson@focalpointcoaching.com, or on LinkedIn. I can be easily found there. And I believe it's just Kristin-Carlson for LinkedIn. And my phone number is 262-955-4861. And like I said, I love to get to know people. I love to connect them. So maybe it's not something I can help them with, but I know somebody else that could. I'm enjoying also doing that in my networking.
Milwaukee is very robust with networking.
Yes, lots of it.
Been very pleased with how all the groups have pivoted into the virtual format and continue to make it a robust platform that really is electrifying and enables us, all of us, to do better together.
Right. And it's such a great community. There's so many great people. So
Are there any groups in particular that you enjoy that maybe I should know about?
So I'm part of the IBAW, Independent Business Association of Wisconsin, and I'm one of the ambassadors there. So really looking at new members. That's a great group. And we're starting actually a focal point program with them, a 9-month program on next level leadership. So that person that you want to move to the C-suite, that program will be coming up. I'm also in BNI, so I'm now the president of our BNI chapter. I'm in the Milwaukee Breakfast Club and the Brookfield Chamber and the Menominee Falls Chamber, and in your group that we meet on a monthly basis. So had lots of networking opportunities and met lots of great people.
Those are great groups, and it really is a testament to getting out there or sitting in front of your computer, but engaging with people is really so much easier now on Zoom because we're not in the car driving around. Those are some great groups that you're involved in. I know some of those people. I know a lot of those people. So real testament to breaking out of a corporate mindset into your business owner mindset and making it work. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for...
I should just add one more. The Parenting Network is a charity that I'm the president of the board for with Rob from your group. So we met there, but that's another group that we are trying to support the Milwaukee County and really prevent child abuse.
Thank you for doing that. You are really so much more dynamically engaged than I realized.
Okay. Been involved. I've embraced it. I've really embraced it, and I love it. So.
Well, you look good and you sound good, and I appreciate your time today being on The Free Agent and having the time to share your story with the rest of the audience. I will look forward to seeing you at the First Friday meeting, and I hope that you have a great rest of the day.
All right, you too. Thanks for the opportunity, Meg.